Ah, the Crystal Maze, a cornerstone of 90s television, one of the most iconic game shows of all time. The Crystal Maze was one of the first game shows I ever watched as a child, and still to this day I am a huge fan of the show. In fact, the Crystal Maze was what kickstarted this channel in the first place, as my very first video was a short documentary looking at the story of the show. There were a lot of things I left out from that video, including the plethora of Crystal Maze merchandise that has been released over the years. In 1991, MB Games released a board game loosely based upon the show, and when the Revived series debuted, Rascals Products Limited produced a brand new board game featuring 16 challenges which can be played either individually or as a team. While we now have the Crystal Maze experiences in London and Manchester, in the early 90s there were a number of interactive Crystal Maze venues around the world called the Cyberdrome Crystal Maze, where you could attempt to crack the Crystal Maze yourself. On top of this, there have been many great Crystal Maze puzzle books over the years, mostly released in the 90s during the show's original run. But in this video, we're going to check out one of the, shall we say, less than spectacular pieces of merchandise, the Crystal Maze video game. Released in 1994, in the game you guide a team of 6 adventurers around 4 zones of the Crystal Maze: Aztec, Medieval, Futuristic, and Ocean, and play either physical, mental, skill, or mystery games in each zone to win crystals before tackling the Crystal Dome at the end. Now this all sounds fine and well, exactly what you would expect from a Crystal Maze video game. But unfortunately, this game just doesn't live up to what you would expect from a video game adaptation of such an incredible TV game show. Let's take a look at this game in a little more detail, and later in the video you can watch me attempt to crack the Crystal Maze myself. When you first boot the game up, you'll be treated to a digitized version of that iconic Crystal Maze theme music. A good start, but then we're greeted with a rather sparse main menu, with no text to tell you what each button does, and this random empty square on the right that does nothing. Double-clicking the X at the top right exits the game. There's an info page where you can see your high scores, and a settings page where you can change your controls or sound settings. The final button on the right is where you can choose your team of 6. No names here, just a ragtag bunch of adventurers waiting to be drafted into your team. I mean, just look at some of these pictures. After choosing your team, you can click the maze button at the bottom to start your quest. As you enter the maze, you get to choose your starting zone, but after that, the computer automatically takes you on a path through the remaining zones. Let's start in the Aztec zone. One thing I really like about this game is the pixel art representations of each zone as you enter. Aztec was one of my favorite zones, and this artwork looks great. The info button in the bottom right now lets us see how many crystals we've collected so far. But don't expect that to fill up with crystals anytime soon, as this game can be brutally difficult, as we'll soon see. We get to play 3 games in each zone before moving on. Clicking the button at the bottom allows us to select which player we want to play the game and what kind of game we want: a physical, skill, mental, or mystery. Again, it doesn't matter what player you choose. They don't have any specialties and they all play exactly the same. The physical games in all zones are some kind of platformer. It looks harmless enough at first glance, but it is insanely difficult. Your player moves really slow, the jump animation takes forever, and even if you make it onto the platforms in the water, you don't stay on them as you would expect. Instead, you have to keep moving your player to stay on the platform. And you only get one shot at this. Touch the water once, and it's game over. Aztec has 2 possible skill games, both of which are based on games from the show. Gag the Gods is a pretty accurate representation of the real game from the show, in which you must roll balls down a moving slide into the mouths of the stone god statues in front. This one is actually quite fun. Build a Pyramid seems to be loosely based on a game that appeared in Series 4 called Good Balls, Bad Balls. In this game, however, you must catch 6 balls in quick succession to build the pyramid on the right. This is quite difficult. You don't just have to catch 6 balls, you have to catch them essentially in a row, and if you miss a ball, the pyramid you've built on the right starts disappearing, and you need to start over. It's super difficult to keep catching balls, as you have to be pixel perfect every time. Not easy, but with a little bit of practice, I think it's doable. There are also 2 mental games in Aztec. This game, where you have to move symbols around so that no adjacent colors or symbols appear on each horizontal and vertical line, and this game called Pebble Solitaire, where you simply have to jump pebbles over each other to make them disappear. Speed is key here, as you have barely any time to complete the game. Lastly, we have one mystery game, which is a simple clue search puzzle. Get used to these because you're going to be seeing a lot more of them. Next, let's look at the Ocean Zone. The physical game here is once again a platformer, and it looks so similar to the platformer in Aztec that it might as well just be the same, still difficult and frustrating. There is only one skill game available in the Ocean Zone called Walk the Plank. This looks easy, but it is far from it. Guiding that little ball around the maze is a lot harder than it looks thanks to the controls, where you have to press the direction that you want to go to move, and then press the opposite direction to slow down or stop. It's quite tricky. 2 mental games are available in this zone, Octopus Shuffle and Signal Flags. Octopus Shuffle is self-explanatory, and Signal Flags is probably the easiest game to win a crystal on, as you have plenty of time to do as much trial and error as you want to succeed. 2 mystery games are possible in this zone, some kind of crystal heat-seeking game, and another one of those clue search puzzles. The crystal heat-seeking game is quite poorly designed, if I'm honest. I mean, what are we even clicking here? Is this supposed to be the side of a boat? I'm not sure. On to the next zone, which is Medieval. Great artwork here once again depicting the dining table in the middle of the zone, where we would see the maze master and the contestants relax for a moment during their quests through the maze. Yet another platformer is on the offer for your physical game, this time with these weird snakes chasing you around. As before, one mistake and it's all over. The skill game in this zone is very similar to Crossbow Shields from Series 3, in which you must fire a crossbow at some moving targets. At the bottom it says mind the breeze, letting us know that there's some wind that can blow your arrows off course. This one is a passable recreation, and it's definitely doable with a little patience. 2 mental games are on offer once more, a game in which you must move blocks with dots in order to make every row and column add up to a certain number, and a recreation of the word slide puzzle from Series 1 of the show, where you have to move the letters to change the direction of the word. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I'm pretty sure this game is impossible. The letters slide so slow that I don't think it's actually possible to complete it within the given time. If it is possible, then you'd have to be able to do it with no mistakes, which is essentially impossible when playing it for the first time. Lastly, we have 2 very poor mystery games. Another clue search puzzle, if you haven't guessed it yet there's one in every zone, and a trivia round with Mumsy. Last but not least, we have the Futuristic Zone. Yet another platformer as the physical game, and this one is taking the absolute Michael. These weird glowing balls are moving so fast, it's almost impossible to complete this, and trust me, I've tried a lot. The skill game in this zone is a version of Snake. The only problem is that you have to be absolutely pixel perfect to pick up the dots, or electrons as they're called here. This looks doable, but it's super frustrating, and if you hit the wall once, it's over. 2 mental games are available in the Futuristic Zone. Firstly, a version of Put Those Lights Out from Series 4 of the show, and this Shapes memory game, where you simply have to click the blocks in the order they flashed and beeped previously. This is definitely a good chance to pick up a crystal. Finally, for our mystery games, we have this maze game where you simply have to get the ball to the other side, and, you guessed it, yet another clue search puzzle. And that's it. Those are all of the games that are available in the 4 different zones of the game. Overall, I'm quite disappointed by these games. There are a couple that have been recreated from the original games in the show that play relatively well for a game this old, but the majority of them are, quite frankly, terrible. The platformers in particular are all too difficult and are next to impossible to complete. Remember, at the time of this game's release, The Crystal Maze was an extremely popular TV show, particularly with younger viewers, and so releasing such a difficult game like this that a lot of these younger viewers would play is disappointing. Also, the fact that all 4 zones have a version of the clue search game is lazy in my opinion. There were so many games from the show that they could have chosen to recreate in this video game that would have made the experience a lot more enjoyable. After struggling through the 4 zones, if you're lucky enough to have actually won some time crystals, then you get your chance in the Crystal Dome. You might be wondering what this final challenge will look like. We all know from the show that we need to collect as many gold tokens as possible and minimize the number of silver tokens we collect. But how is the game going to emulate this? Well, take a look at this. As we enter the Crystal Dome, it looks like we have some kind of target, as if we're holding a gun, and we have to look around and shoot the tokens that are flying around in the air. The problem is, the tokens are moving around quite a lot, the controls are quite janky, and when you shoot the tokens, they disappear, but there's no sound cue to let you know if you've done so. Whatever time you've managed to accrue for the Crystal Dome is quickly gone. After the time runs out, your totals are calculated, and the game says, better luck next time. I have no idea what it says when you win, as I've never been able to do that, but perhaps that can be a challenge for a future video. Now that you're up to speed on what this game is all about, it's time to watch my embarrassing attempts at this game. Well, it's time to see if I can crack the Crystal Maze myself. What I would give to have had the opportunity to go on the Crystal Maze in the 90s. That would have been a dream. I was in love with the show when I was a kid. I think I was probably too young for the kids version of that show though, at that time. But the memories I have from watching this show are just incredible. But anyway, we've got the Crystal Maze live experiences in London and Manchester, and I live in London, so that's great. That's an opportunity to play the Crystal Maze. And we've got things like this. We've got the Crystal Maze game. Let me show you the website that I'm using to play this game. It's called myabandonware.com. Amazing website. So many old games on here. And look at this. You don't even have to download it. You can just play it directly on the website. You don't have to download anything. You just come to the webpage, which I'll link in the description, and you just play the game. So let's get into it. Obviously, I've played this game a bit recently in preparation for this video, and I played this a long time ago, so I have practiced a little bit. So let's see. I think a target of like 4, maybe 5 crystals is probably a good target. So here we go. Let's get into it. Start, and we'll hit full screen. Let's listen to that music. Here we go. That music never gets old, does it? I love how they've recreated that in a digitized version, and they've used this, the original title screen. Not the original title screen. It used to be an older title screen in the early seasons, but this was this maybe like series 4 or 5 maybe that had this title screen? I can't remember, but it looks great. Really immerses you into the experience. So that is a really great point about this game. Okay, first things first, we need to fix the controls, because the default controls for up, down, left and right, and I guess this is for jump for the platformer, they're different buttons, so it's good to just set them to the buttons that we want. That's great. And I'll maybe just make sure the volume is a little bit lower. We don't want it to be too loud. So there we go. Let's pick our team. Let's just deselect all of them. Okay, who are we going to have? Let's have this guy. Love his jawline. Definitely think he's going to be good at the physical games. Not that we get to choose which player we use, but, gotta have this guy. That mean looking face. Love it. Let's have her. I'll have her. Gotta have this guy. And you've gotta have this guy. Look at the face. Love it. I just love this. It's just crazy. Okay, brilliant. We've got our team. Let's get into the crystal maze. Here we go. Let's start in... Okay, we'll do the same as what was in the video. We'll start in Aztec. So obviously we're on 0 crystals now. Let's choose this guy. And let's go for the skill games. This is going to be Gag the Gods or Build a Pyramid. Let's see which one it is. Okay, it's Gag the Gods. Now, there is a time limit here, so I feel like you want to go when the mouth is opening. Now, like that. Oh, that was close. Oh, come on. It's all about timing. Is that not it? Okay, let's just go up a little bit. Just before the mouth opens. It's not going in though. Come on. I've only got 4 balls left. Okay, this is not good. Okay, let's switch. Oh! I've got no time. That's frustrating because I've done this one before. I have got the crystal on this before, but it isn't easy. It isn't easy. And it's one of those, you need to be pixel perfect and timing perfect as well. It is difficult. So he's gone. That's one thing I didn't mention in the video is once you've like lost a player, once he's locked in, that's it, he's gone. And you can buy them out with a crystal, which is sometimes good because the more people you have for the crystal dome, the better, because you get more chances to play it. But we're going to leave him for now. We'll go for her, and let's go for the other skill game, which is Build a Pyramid. Not easy. This is frustrating. It really is. Here we go. Oh, that's me lost the pyramid. That's it gone. 3, 4. Come on. Yeah. Okay, that's the first crystal. This is a hard one. It's so hard that you need to be really, really precise with where you position that sort of shoot thing that comes back towards you. Okay, so we're on 1 crystal. Okay, so we've not completely failed. Now, I did mention in the video that the platformers are really, really difficult. I have been practicing them a bit, so let's see if we can do this platformer. It is not easy, and you don't have much time as well. Right, come on. I've been practicing this a little bit, so come on. Oh, okay, just about. All right, down the ladder we go. On to the next one. No! Oh, that's what I'm talking about. It's so difficult. It really is hard. It's all about timing, and like if you do complete it, when you get down to the bottom, you have like barely any time to get there. So you can't be hesitating. You really need to get a move on in that level. Okay, Ocean Zone. Let's go for this guy, and we'll go for a skill. Okay, I can do this. So, like, I'm going to go down here. You need to press down and then up. And you sort of need to press the opposite direction from where you were going to, oh no, in order to stop, basically. Oh no. It's so hard. Okay. That's the time over. No! Okay. Not much time to do that. It is possible, but I mean, you've basically got 1 go at it. I mean, it takes too long. You've got one go, and if you go in the water, that's it. Okay, on to the next one. Let's have a go at this platformer for this one. It's very, very similar to the last one. It is very similar. I feel like it's going to be more difficult. I don't know why. Right. Ooh. Okay, come back. Jump. Come up! No! Yeah, those platforms moving up and down. That one should be easier with the platforms just coming up and down, but... Okay, we're still on one crystal. Not very good. Let's have a go with the mental game. Okay. So we want to get this over here. Okay. Let's put that there. Let's just move these all around. And we'll get this underneath the head. Come on. I don't know if this is right or not. And we don't have much time, so... That looks good to me. That looks good to me. And now we want this in here. Come on. Well, I want this to be down here, though. How am I going to get that there? That's not right, is it? Is that right? Yeah, because that's going to go up there. Oh, this is not easy. This is really, really hard. And you don't really have that much time to do this. I feel like... I was thinking that you need to kind of know the solution before you do this. But even then it's difficult. It's because these tiles are moving so slow. Right, that's definitely there. Okay. But like, how do I get this up here? There's no chance to do that. I don't think I can. No, there's no way I can do this. We're running out of time. Really, really hard that. I mean, this needs to go up there. Yeah, there just isn't enough time. It's very difficult. Very difficult. I have done this maybe once or twice, but I feel like it was just a favorable setup from the beginning. You know? Okay, we've done 2 zones and we only have 1 crystal. But I do have high hopes for the last 2 zones. So let's see how we can do. Let's click there. Okay. Yeah, let's do the skill game. Here we go. Right, here we go. Okay, let's try and get the one that's like bobbing up and down first, because that's definitely the hardest one. Wow, we got it. Like 2 arrows. Okay, let's get this one here. That's too high. Still too high. Okay, that looks good. Yes. Okay. Let's go for the one on the left now. 1 shot. Look at that. I'm an absolute master of this game. I can get it. That's it. I don't think I've ever done that in as few arrows before. But I'll take it. 2 crystals. 2 crystals. Okay, let's have a go at... Should I have a go at the mental game? I really don't like this one. I really don't like it. So I think the key is don't move right away. Figure it out first. So Y over here. Okay, how can I get... If I move the T first. Y there, up here. Okay, let's try that. Move that up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do. How am I going to get the Y in now? There's no chance. No. Okay, pull these over. No, I can't. They need to stay there, right? How do you do this? And that's it. That's time over. This is so difficult, this one. It really is. I don't know if they just completely randomize it when you start. It almost feels like there are some like permutations of that are possible and you can do it, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just impossible. That's what it feels like to me. Very, very difficult game. And I don't actually like the other mental game here. I think it's the one with the numbers. That's really hard as well. So I think I'm just going to have a go at the platformer. Trying to get past these snakes. I guess they're snakes. That's what they look like. Okay, and one more. Okay, we're through. We're through. Go down. Right, there we go. Across we go. No! Oh, it's so difficult, these games. If they gave you like 3 lives, that would be great. You know, remember like the games in the show where like if you made 3 mistakes, it would be an automatic lock-in? That's what we need here. That is absolutely what you need for that kind of game. Okay, I've got high hopes for this futuristic zone. I think I can get a couple of crystals here, so here we go. Let's go for the skill game first. It's Snake. Okay. That's one. Come on. Oh. No. That's 2. You don't have much time as well. 25 seconds left. No. No. So hard. Have we got it? Is that it? No. This is what I was saying. You need to be pixel perfect. And the time's over. There just is not any more time. No, I can't get up to that one. Oh, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Okay, we got 2 games left and then we have the Crystal Dome. We have to go mental, I think. This is where you can get crystals. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's easy. Okay, number 2. Okay, one more and we get a crystal. Easy. I'll take that. So that's just got 15 seconds now in the Crystal Dome. There we go. And we got one more game, and I think I'm going to go for the other mental game here because I think it's a lot of clicking, and I know there's a pattern to this, but I don't know what the pattern is. I just click around and hope that the lights go on. Okay, here we go. That's it. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know how I got that crystal. I just clicked around and got them. Okay, great. 20 seconds. Okay, and I can't remember how many players we've still got left, but yeah, let's see how many gold tokens we can get. Okay, Crystal Dome time. Now, you can click here, and then you got your 4 crystals there, and you can come down. Oh, I've only got 1 player left. Okay. What you can do is use up your crystals to get your players back. Look, we're not going to win. We're not going to win. So I think I'm going to buy back maybe 2 of them. Can I do that? I thought this would let me buy the players back. No? I thought that was what happened. Okay, never mind. Let's just proceed with our 1 player into the Crystal Dome. And let's see how many we can do. We're not going to get 100. That's not going to happen, but let's have our best go. Here we go. It's so hard. Okay. There's one there. There's a couple. Come on. And that's it. It's game over. How many did I get? 8. Did I get any silver? I don't think I did. 2. Okay, I don't remember hitting those. 6 in total. Well, better luck next time. Thanks for watching my attempts to crack the crystal maze, and thanks for watching this video. If you've never played the game before, I'll put a link in the description below where you can play the game yourself. And let us know how well you do in the comments below. Thanks everyone, and see you in the next video.